So because we don't have hours and hours and hours on this podcast, can you give us some of those money moves? Like, where do we start?
Yeah, it's actually easier than you think. The same reason why we overeat is the same reason why we overspend.
Tell me why. Welcome to the High Vibe Life podcast, where we are obsessed with all things manifestation, neuroscience, personal growth, and quite simply, living a life beyond our wildest dreams. I'm Moira Kucaba, author, speaker, podcaster, manifestation, and mindset master. Since getting sober 25 years ago, I've helped tens of thousands of women break through and achieve massive levels of wealth, joy, and freedom. Now it's your turn. Let's dig in. Welcome back to the High Vibe Life podcast with me, Moira Kucaba, and you are in for a treat today. We have Jamil Frazier in the house. Jamil, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's so good to be here. I'm so excited to have this sit-down conversation.
Yeah, we really just connected through a mutual friend who we both have a ton of respect for. So, you know, when those good people in your life are like, hey, you got to know her and you got to know him. And we're like, hey, we're here. We're making this happen. So really excited to have a conversation today. Jamil, you're a motivational speaker and author. You have a big company that you run, a coaching company. Right before we hit record, I was like, is there anything specific you want to talk about, Jamil? And you know what he said? Money. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're my guy. You're my guy. We like to talk about wealth and money and you know, using it right and doing the right things with it so we can really just enjoy life to the fullest forever. The little bit that we chatted right before we hit the record button, I just adore you. I think your energy is so fun. We both love, you're in San Diego. You know, that's my old hometown. So we've got that in common. But I know we have so much more in common. Can we start with this question, Jamil? If I met you in an elevator and I said, oh, who are you? What do you do? How would you answer that?
Yeah, I would say I'm a problem solver. Yeah, I would say that people come to me for lots of different reasons, for lots of different problems. And for some reason, I have been given a gift of being able to serve them or figure out how to connect them. I think what my team would say is they would say that I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a founder of Think Life is Different, which is a company that I run now. I'm an author, and they would probably say like I'm just a down to earth dude.
Yeah,
like I don't take myself too seriously. I don't like wear a whole bunch of fancy stuff. Like I am just want to be with my team. I want to serve people, and I want to be with my family, and that's pretty much how you can explain me.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's why I'm drawn to you, because as my parents used to always say when they would encounter somebody in life, when I was a little girl, I remember them saying, they're just salt of the earth. That person is just salt of the earth. And I totally get that vibe from you. Can we start here before we kind of go into what I know you are so anxious and excited to share with my audience about? Can we talk about how you got here? Like, how did you arrive at doing this work in the world? I just love people's stories. I want to know, like, you probably in 5th grade didn't set out to do this work or found this company. Maybe you did. Maybe it looked something like that. But I don't think most of us arrive in the personal growth space like with a 20-year plan, right? So how did you end up here?
Through the grace of God.
Yeah.
I've been really, really fortunate in my life. I've just had the most beautiful people step on my path and guide me every step of the way. I come from a family that was a little bit broken, comes from a single family household or single parent household. My dad had made some mistakes, was in and out of jail. My mom just had a really, really tough life. She's an incredible woman. I mean, one of those people that walk in a room and always make the room brighter. just had some trauma that was hard for her to handle. I mean, both of her parents passed within about a month and a half of each other. A year later, her baby brother was shot and killed on the streets of Pasadena. And my dad was running around in and out of prison and with other women. And so she just had, gosh, difficulties.
Yeah.
And the best way that she knew how to deal with them was to turn to alcohol and drugs.
Mm.
And so that's what I was born into. But she made one of the best decisions in my life right around the time I was about 10 years old. She moved us about 13 miles east to a new city. And that's why I always say zip codes eat people, because she moved me to a new zip code. I was surrounded by the most incredible friends who had the most incredible parents. And then just from a young age, my buddies and I we kind of made a promise to ourselves that we would get scholarships. We would go on to college and play college sports. And I got lucky and became a pretty good football player and got a football scholarship. And again, had incredible mentors, graduated towards the top of my class, got a job pretty quickly with Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceutical and pharmaceutical sales, had the car, thought I was balling out.
Oh, yeah.
At the little company expense account, I was living. Met an amazing girl, got pregnant, and everything looked good on the outside. However, on the inside, I was dying. And I think that's really where it starts. You know, my wife and I got pregnant kind of right away. And I don't know about your listeners or other people that are out there, but we had all these grand plans. We're going to go travel. We'll travel the world. We're going to see everything. We're going to build together. And within a couple months, we got pregnant. I wasn't ready for it. I got scared. I was spooked. I grew up without a father, didn't know how to be a father. And so I asked her to do something that men probably shouldn't ask their wives to do. I asked her to consider having an abortion. She didn't like that very much. And I didn't want to leave, but I didn't know how to stay.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I knew how to do was fall into depression. And that's really where the story kind of begins for me. I had an opportunity to get myself healthy. And I think that's where I started to find the old Jamil. I used to be so confident, but for about 2 years, I lost all that confidence. I used to only be able to see like a successful future. And for 2 years, I couldn't see it anymore. I couldn't see it. I couldn't taste it. I had lost a tremendous amount of hope. It's so funny thinking back on it now because I speak about it so cavalier. But anybody who has been in a state of depression, you know how deep that is, how lonely that feels, how walls are closing in on you. You feel hopeless.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt for a while. And then, man, I met this man and he gave me a chance to start a business in the health and wellness space. And I just made a decision that I was going to start to change my life by helping other people change their lives. I was just passionate, man. Like I just knew that we could change the world.
Wow.
And I worked every day to help people do that. And then
was that a direct sales business?
In a direct sales business, yeah.
Gosh, isn't it amazing what that industry can ignite in people? It's just, I mean, we both seen it. If you've been in the direct sales space, it's like, it's the hope, right? It's the flicker of possibility. It's the limitless possibility. It's the ownership of your own path. It's incredible mentors all around pouring life into you. And I love that you were able to find that at that critical time in your life. I mean, just looking back over what you just shared, people were instrumental along your way. People.
Big time. You know, one thing I do till this day is, and you're probably going to get it from me from here on out, now that we met each other.
Yeah.
I just appreciate people.
Yeah.
Especially people that's poured into me. I don't feel like I'm some like amazing dude. I don't feel like I'm that smart. I don't feel like I'm that talented. I don't feel any of that stuff. but I appreciate the people that showed up in my life. I will randomly send you a text and just be like, thank you so much. I just did this to a buddy who I grew up with, and his parents took me in. I played baseball with him.
Yeah.
And I just literally just sent them yesterday. I just sent them this long video about just thanking them for making me bean and cheese burritos and inviting me in and treating me like I was one of their kids and not ostracizing me, but lifting me up. And they have no idea how much of an impact that made on my life. And I was just telling her, I appreciate you. I'm never going to forget it. And so I just,
that's extraordinary
again,
though,
man,
Jamil. Can I pause right there and just slow your roll for just a second? Because you don't think you're special. That trait, being super appreciative, speaking that out to people and telling them even years and decades back, like, that's extraordinary. That you love big. You love big and you appreciate big. And man, we all need more of that in our lives, right? And here's what I also want the listeners to hear, because I think we as a society are walking around kind of trying to find that fire, trying to find that joy, trying to find that success. And really what we're looking for is the feeling that we actually can cultivate at any moment. When you do something like you just talked about and you reach out and you show your appreciation, that feeling that we get, that's sweeter than success or a paycheck or money. Like, we think we want all the things outside of ourselves because of the way it's going to make us feel. And we can actually go produce that feeling today if we want to. And that's what you're really good at. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know, man. Like, for me, I remember somebody told me a long time ago, it's always stuck with me, but they said giving compliments is like breathing oxygen into someone's soul.
Yes.
And so when people have I am here as a product of a whole bunch of other people. And I know that that's right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here as a product of my mom, of my best friend's mom, who always paid for my football cleats and me to play football. We didn't have money for any of that stuff. And just along the way, I just had people lift me up, lift me up, lift me up. And so one of the best things that I could do for them is to randomly shoot a text just saying, hey, I remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am here.
So good.
My kids, I have 4 kids now. They have a father who is here, and you're a part of that. I appreciate you. I mean, how much effort does that take?
Right. And the ripple effect of that, because they remember that, and maybe they're not in that season of their life where they're pouring life into people now, and your text immediately motivates them to give back, to somehow lift somebody else up today. I just think the more we can do that, the better. So good. So good.
I agree.
So then you're at rock bottom. Your life kind of turns around with this business opportunity. You get your fire back. You probably obviously drink out of the fire hose of personal growth like I did, right? We're like so parched and thirsty for it. And when we find it, it really, for me, felt like, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like, this is the solution to every obstacle I've ever faced. And it just felt like I discovered gold, So then you go into founding a company. How far after that did you found the company and start speaking and writing?
Yeah, I did. So what happened along the path was, probably very similar to you. I found a tremendous amount of incredible people to pour into, to help them as best as I could be successful, not just monetarily, but mentally, physically, spiritually. And because of, I think, the service, the way my wife and I were serving so many people, obviously financial success started to come with that. But you remember, I come from abject poverty. I grew up on welfare for 20 years of my life. And so I needed to start to learn the proper money moves. And I had a man come into my life. His name's Craig Chapman, another man I randomly send text messages to all the time, just saying thank you. And he told me he had come from, direct sales industry 20, 30 years prior.
Mm.
And he told me early on, he says, man, you're going to be way more successful than I've ever been. And I was like, Craig, man,
Wow.
you have millions. And he said, I do, but a lot of my wealth is what we call paper assets. He said the best thing that you have going for you right now is you have one of the most important words when we talk about wealth and income and finances. You have great cash flow. And he says, you're in an industry to where people are stupid with their money.
Mm.
And so you need to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to be rich or do you want to be wealthy?
Mm.
And I was like, what are you talking about?
You're like, what's the difference?
He says,
I want
do
to
you
be
want to be
both.
rich or do you want to be wealthy? So he says, if you help me get healthy, I'll teach you how to be wealthy.
Wow.
And so he did. And under his tutelage, in fact, the very first piece of real estate that I went to go look at was with Craig. And so he just started drumming into me, don't do what most people do. Like, I see the trajectory that you're going in, and you need to make sure that your priorities are straight and that you put your family first.
So when
And I
you just
listened
said,
to him.
though, because I know everybody's thinking what I'm thinking, don't do what most people do. What do most people do? What are we avoiding there?
Most people blow their money.
Okay. That's what I thought you were getting at. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. And but I was so young. I mean, at the time I was just getting started out. I met him a year into my journey of building my organization. I had no money. I was still $100,000 in debt.
Yeah.
And so I'm just listening to him, but I don't have all of his theory
Right.
at this time. None of it is something that has come into fruition. And so I just always remember what he was telling me. And so I just started doing different money moves. What's so interesting is all these incredible entrepreneurs that I'm training and I'm teaching and I'm coaching and I'm spending and doing life with. I start telling them, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And what I started realizing was the vast majority of them were not doing what I was doing.
Mm.
They were making a ton of money, but they were not making the proper money moves. And so I got another bout of inspiration and said, you know what? I think my passion is in helping entrepreneurs scale wealth. I wrote a couple books, founded Think Life is Different. And so that's the mission that we're on now.
I love this.
How can we partner with entrepreneurs, people that are doing really big things, making a lot of money, but not actually making the right money moves? And so we consult with them, we coach them, we teach them. And it's been a lot of fun.
I love this so much. This might sound crazy, but I love that you call it money moves. It seems like fun. It seems like a game. It seems like I can do one thing at a time, right? Like I can do something and then you're kind of set it and forget it, right? You've made that move and then you do another money move and then you do another money move. That seems so different in my brain than the overwhelming world of like, I've got to be like financially intelligent and figure out, investments and all the world of, using our money the right way and doing the right thing with it. It's so overwhelming. Everybody's got a different theory.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different idea. And it seems so high level, and making the right money move, one after the other just seems like, oh, I could do that. I could do one move at a time. So because we don't have hours and hours and hours on this podcast, can you give us some of those money moves? Like, where do we start?
Yeah, it's actually easier than you think. I think you and I come from the health and wellness industry. I think our lives have been impacted by helping a lot of people build the proper habits to get themselves healthy. Becoming wealthy is the exact same thing. It's the exact same steps. I think when I'm working with someone to get healthier, when I used to work with people to get healthy physically, I would always ask him, like, what are the 3 things you could do? Actually, I heard you say this on the podcast. You were talking about, I think, more time management, right?
Yes.
How it feels so big and it feels so stressful and it feels so anxiety ridden. And you're like, bro, chill. Like, what's the 3 things that you need to do?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with getting healthy. Like, what are the 3 things that you need to do to put on muscle, to lose 5 pounds, to whatever the thing is? And they can always tell you, they just don't want to do it.
Right.
Right? They'll be like, well, I should decrease my calories, or I should move more, or I should get more sleep. It's like, okay,
Go
do it.
Yeah.
And they don't do it because it's more difficult than that.
Right.
Right? It is an internal struggle, but we want external results.
Yes.
So money moves inherently is based off of habits mostly. It's based off of mindset mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, then the enemy outside can do us no harm. But the process by which we go through is pretty simple. I mean, it is basically simple.
I like simple when it comes to wealth and money.
It's simple. Here's the thing. Like, if you earn $1, right, you never spend 70 cents, more than 70 cents of the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take 10% and you're just going to save it. And another 10%, you're going to invest it. And another 10%, you'll give it away.
Love it.
And you never spend more than 70 cents of a dollar.
And
that's it.
Wow. So simple.
It is that simple.
All right. So if you're making $100,000 a year, you're investing, you're saving 10,000, you're investing 10,000, and you're giving away 10,000.
And you're living off of 70.
So simple.
Problem is, the same reason why we overeat is the same reason why we overspend.
Tell me why.
Oftentimes it's because we are trying to serve something within us. We're trying to fulfill an emotion.
Mm.
And we're trying to fulfill an emotion with something that's outside of us.
That goes back to the quote you just shared, right? Will you share that quote one more time?
What was the quote?
The enemy within, the enemy on the outside.
Right. Mm-hmm. If there's no enemy within, then the enemy outside of us can do us no harm.
So good.
So a lot of times we're trying to fulfill something that's in here. Look at me. How do you stay in a depressed state for 2 years? I'm probably in my prime. I'm making $100,000 a year. My wife is gorgeous. We just got pregnant with probably, most people would say it's the greatest miracle of your life.
Yeah.
How do you fall into a 2-year depression? What was I grabbing onto? What was I trying to fulfill on the inside? Right? Like, there was this emotional response, and that emotional response had me reaching out, trying to grasp on to a lot of things to fulfill something that needed to be healed on the inside. And so a lot of times we do the same things with our money, especially the more that we make. Do you know how much money I've helped people make in my life? And then the market turns or something happens. And then I look at them and I say, surely you have done the correct things with your money, right? Like, of course you have. And unfortunately, most of them don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I found, I was in a situation last year in a company that went belly up. You get the phone call and you're done. You're done. You're toast. And it was shocking to see how many people had just made so much money. And I'm not even talking to like in those first few years when you're still trying to figure it out and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with all this? I'm talking decades plus that didn't have the cushion that would give them the freedom to make a wise decision, right? Instead of a reactive decision in that moment. Talk to me about that. When we're trying to kind of placate that feeling on the inside, what are some of those feelings that come up that we're trying to kind of solve with money?
So now we're talking about emotions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's all types of feelings.
Yeah.
Happiness. I feel sad. I feel anxious. I feel stressed. I feel depressed. I feel elated. I feel joy. These are all of the things that we feel. Listen, it's so our emotions, we all agree we have emotions. These emotions come from thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
When I have an emotion, that emotion generally is going to elicit some sort of action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to feel something. I'm going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this action is going to pick up a pattern, which we call a habit. Once this habit sets in, it's very difficult to break.
Yeah.
And then this habit is going to turn into reality, and reality is going to manifest itself in our life.
Yeah.
This is just how it is. So if I'm happy and every time I get happy, I buy a Porsche. Awesome. Or if I'm stressed out and every time I'm stressed out, I buy a Fendi bag.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes me, now it's fulfilling something
Right.
inside of me. Or if I get anxiety, and when I get anxiety, and it can happen this way, I'm anxiety ridden, and so now I try to hold on to money. Now money is scarce.
Right.
And now I can't use it freely so it can flow. And now I can go out and create and create and create, which is going to bring more back into me. So the way that we actually start to build wealth is we actually start to learn how to think and control our emotions.
That's what I was just about to say. Is the root of this how we're thinking? Because obviously we're going to feel the emotions. We're going to feel the positive and the negative emotions. And so the idea is really channeling it correctly, right? Like stacking that thought that creates a feeling, because whether it's positive or negative, we could then take an action that produces a positive result, whether that's a positive or negative emotion. I might have just lost some people there, but I think you know exactly what I'm saying, right? So how do we do that? I mean, you and I live in this world. We're super conscious of our thoughts, creating our feelings, the whole chain. How do you teach this?
Yeah, so it's pretty, I wouldn't say it's simple. I won't say it's easy, but it's simple.
Yeah.
And it comes down to just a few basic things. You've done this, I've done this, so listener, that we've all done this at some point in our lives. The key is to figure out what it is that you actually want. Mm-hmm. And luckily for me, I realized early on the most important thing that I want is freedom.
Yeah.
I want to do what I want to do. I've never been someone who played really well with like people telling me what to do. I just never
Jamil,
really been that guy, right? Like I just never have been that guy. And remember where I was in my life when I made these decisions. I felt trapped. Yeah. I felt like I was getting bullied. I felt like I had no agency over the direction of my life. My wife was going to have the child, whether I wanted the child or not, right? Like my boss was in control of my income. It's just like, and I wanted to get to a place where I could call my own shots. Yeah. And so freedom really was the ultimate goal for me. Awesome. So you figure out what you want. Okay, cool. So part of what's going to create this freedom story for me is it's important for me to get to a place where my income can now override my expenses to the point in the degree that if something ever happened, I don't have to work anymore. Why? Because I want to be free. Yeah. Awesome. So now I have a North Star. So throughout the day, when these things happen, now when it's time for me, when I do have these emotions, just like everybody else, the first part is consciousness. Mm-hmm. Before I go do anything, can I actually think about, is this serving me? Is this going to help me get to this North Star? Is it going to keep me the same, or is it going to push me away?
I love
actually
that.
Have to slow down and think about what is this doing for me, not just now, But for Jamil 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, is this serving him? Because there's an old person inside of all of us that's literally praying today that we make the right decisions because we are going to meet that person very, very, very soon.
Yeah.
I'm 44 now. Yesterday, I was 34.
Right. Right.
Right? I mean, it's just true. We blink, especially when you have kids. I blink and I'm like, how is this dude 14 years old now? This is great. He was just one. Right? What does that mean for me? Like, did I get older? Am I the same? So we have to slow down and we have to think, is it serving me?
Yeah.
Then from there, it's internal dialogue for me. This is how I do it. And I say, is it serving you? Is this going to help you get closer? It's buying this Rolex right now, which you can do. You could buy 4 or 5 Rolexes just off of a monthly income.
Right.
So is this going to help you get closer to freedom faster?
Yeah.
No. So what do you think you should do? I should probably not do that. And I should take this excess and I should invest it and stack some assets so that it gets me to freedom faster. Okay. And so with this, I call it the gap. You have some stimulus that happen. You're going to have some responses from those stimulus. Can you now be in the gap to where you can actually think through it so that you can make the proper decisions that align with what you actually really, really want?
Oh, I love that. You are my people because I talk about the gap too, right? Like your freedom, your future is in that gap. And you don't want to get lost in overthinking in the gap because you and I both know that there's a whole lot of people that can go down that downward spiral of overthinking everything. But there's that moment, that pause where every stimulus, just like you said, it's, am I going right or left? Am I going right or left? Am I going right or left? Sure. And you have the freedom to choose that.
Yes.
But if you don't slow down enough and bring that consciousness to the forefront, you're unconsciously going right or left, and you're just a victim to your habits.
To your habits. And that's usually what it is.
Yeah.
We just eat the chips. We spend the money. We eat the chips. Well, Moira, why are you doing it? I don't know. I just do it.
Yeah.
I just do it. I just do it. I get the check and I spend it. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I just do it.
Yeah.
I just do it. It's spent before I even get the money.
Yeah. Man, this is so good. All right. I want to ask you one last question as we wrap up here, because I talk a lot about manifesting wealth and being in the frequency and the energy of wealth and abundance. And so there's this kind of fine line that we walk with that. And I don't know what your thoughts are on all that whole world of energy and manifestation, but there's this fine line that we walk between, I'm going to tell myself in that gap, in that moment, to not buy the Porsche and go invest. One person would feel abundance in that because I have the freedom to choose and I'm just making a decision. And most people, I think, would feel lack. They would feel that they're not abundant enough, that they're not in a wealth consciousness so that they can't buy the Porsche and they have to do this, boring thing, save the money. What are your thoughts around that? Does that make sense? Because a lot of times we say in the world of, energy and manifestation, like act as if, step into that wealth consciousness. And people are like, oh, so I should just go buy everything I want? And I'm like, no,
sure.
like absolutely not. But what are your thoughts on that, Jamil?
Yeah. So my thoughts are, I agree.
Yeah.
And I disagree.
I love it.
The reason why I say money moves is because I want us to make the proper moves, right? We've all built businesses for sure. But when we build them on a foundation, and then we do sort of a step-by-step process. One of the scariest things that a person can do is build a business that's successful too fast.
Yeah. Tell me why.
Because because they haven't learned the skills, the mindset that's going to be able to sustain that business.
Mm-hmm.
That business will always fall back down to where their true development is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it happen a million times. So I want someone to have an abundance mindset. One of the most frightening things is running into a person that has a poverty or poor mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It is the energy itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so unnerving.
Yeah.
Like I could feel it from a mile away.
Yeah.
I just want to hug them
Yeah.
and say, let me assist you. Please just spend a half a day with your boy. Like, just please hang out.
Yeah.
So I want that, but I want us to go in steps. And so the way that I teach it is never ever, I want you to buy the big house. I've lived in $2-3 million houses. I mean, no big deal. It doesn't even mean anything to me these days.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. But I want you to have the house. I told you before we jumped on, I thought I was going to be a farmer. So I bought all these acres. If you want to have the farm, go get the farm. Go get your tractors, your Porsches, all that stuff. Just don't do it before you buy the assets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be abundant all you want. Buy the assets first.
Mm-hmm.
Let the assets pay for your abundant lifestyle.
Right.
One of the worst things you could do is go buy all of these all of these toys that are not going to appreciate, and then something happens. And even though you're manifesting your abundant, the market does what it does. Look what's happening right now.
Right. Scary.
Right? The market, literally, this has been the worst stock market we have seen since COVID hit in 2020. Yeah. This last week for most people has been a really high anxiety week. Yeah. This last week for me has been the most fun week, the biggest opportunities, just like in 2022 when the market dipped, when we were afraid of inflation. For some of us, it is unfortunate. For other people, it is a huge opportunity. We need to decide what side we want to be on.
Talk to me about how you make it the opportunity and not get caught up in the fear.
I've been speaking this whole podcast about managing emotions. Yeah. One of the most dangerous things that happen to society is emotional mismanagement. Mm-hmm. And we see that with all of the things. I fell into a depression because of emotional mismanagement. Mm. My mom fell into addiction because of emotional mismanagement. My organization has helped hundreds of thousands of people get healthy. How did they get to an unhealthy state? Primarily emotional mismanagement. Mm. When I was broke, why was I broke? I made $100,000 a year. Think about this. How do you make $100,000 a year and have no money? That's crazy. Yeah. Why? Emotional mismanagement. So if you want to take advantage of opportunities and not be frightened, then we need to learn how to control our emotions. Education also helps as well.
Which begins with a lot of our thoughts, right? I mean, that goes back to what you were saying earlier. It's like just the self-talk, that the market's going to come back. It always does. We're going to be okay. And just playing those tapes in your head that are truth, but that you really need to grab a hold of in those moments versus the fear loop and the downward spiral that, thoughts create the emotions create the actions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. So good. Yeah, so tell me this, how do my listeners find your resources, find you, get plugged into your coaching? I hear you might have something big coming out this month. Can you share with us about that?
I do. So my third book is coming out at the end of this month. It's called The Freedman in the Oak Tree. You probably can guess it. It's a financial and business book. And it really talks about the 5 laws of leverage and how you can utilize leverage to really speed up time. You and I have both done that in our business ventures. Even when we got on right now, I think you were speaking to somebody on your team just to get things set up and right with the sound and the audio and all that stuff. Yep. I mean, one of the fastest ways to wealth into a successful life is stop trying to do stuff on your own. Yeah. This is why I'm so grateful that I'm not that bright. I'm just not that bright. I'm not. I'll be the first one to tell you. But I have so many incredible people around me. I don't even know what they're talking about half the time.
I agree
Like,
with you there.
like,
People start talking about
right.
my email. I don't even know what it's called. I'm like,
I have no
I have
idea.
no idea.
They're running all these automations and stuff for our companies. I
Yes.
have no idea. I just tune out. I say, you guys figure it out.
Yep.
Let me know when it's time to speak. So that's coming out. And if somebody wants to get in contact with us, they could just go to thinklifeisdifferent.com and all of our stuff is on there.
Thinklifeisdifferent.com. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Jamil, this has been such a treat. You are just such a light in the world. And when I say like salt of the earth, that is you. It exudes from you. Your energy is just so darn good. I mean, you are changing. You obviously have changed thousands and thousands and thousands of lives. But man, I feel like you're just getting started.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I appreciate you. I love everything that you're doing. I love your story as well. I mean, but don't we see that so much? Like inspiration or desperation really can breed huge things, or it could take us in a totally different direction.
Yes.
Look what you have decided to do.
Wow,
Incredible.
thank you. Thank you for that. And you know, when you were sharing your story in the beginning, it was like that's the thing that I wanted to like pause and pull out for the audience, because so many people are stuck, and you and I are masters at getting people unstuck, but only because we've been so stuck. And that's the moment. That's the beautiful pivot point in your life if you grab a hold of it and let it be that, you know, people think, but you don't understand, you're up here and I'm down here. I'm like, yeah, but this up here starts down there. That's the only way it starts.
So good.
And so I hope the listeners hear that in your story and mine. Jamil, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for getting up so early on the West Coast. You are just such a joy. We will link everything in the show notes for everybody. So all your websites, all your links will be down there. I encourage everybody to go get your book. If you do that, will you share on your Instagram, everybody, or your social media platforms, the link in the book, and tag Jamil, tag me. We'd love to hear back from you. Jamil, thanks so much for joining. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. The High Vibe Life Podcast.
That's right. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.